I'm Kate Young, and I'm running the Lake Tahoe Half Ironman for the Fetal Health Foundation. So when I was 20 weeks pregnant, I was diagnosed with Twin Transfusion Syndrome with my two boys, and we were told that they were going to die, and that any attempt that we had to try to save them would only cause further brain damage and not be able to save them. And so, alone in the hospital, we were looking this up online and trying to figure out what we could do if there were any other options, and we found the Fetal Health website that led us to several doctors all over the country that were able to actually save our kids. One was Dr. Julian D'Elia in Milwaukee, and there was others in Salt Lake City, and the doctors locally here in Denver were able to contact them. They were the experts in Twin Transfusion Syndrome, and sort of walked us through on a regular basis through phone calls and emails what to do. And after 8 weeks on bed rest, my kids were born, and they're 5 years old today and very healthy. So we're very grateful to Fetal Health for being there for us and being able to point us in the right direction and allowing us to have two very healthy boys today. When we first found out, actually, I was by myself. They had scheduled an ultrasound, and my husband was going to be there for the ultrasound, but they took me in several hours early, and I was alone, and unfortunately left me sort of in the room by myself. And I asked, how much longer do I have? Is it minutes? Is it weeks? And they said, we don't know. You need to make a decision what you want to do. So it was very difficult. It was very humbling and I felt very isolated. So it was very difficult to be going through this without any support. And so it was amazing to be able to go online, that the internet exists today, that you can go online and find somebody else who's been through it and who's gone through it and knows what to do and can be there to help. But it was actually really amazing because the people who answered the phone when we called these other doctors clearly knew, they were not receptionists. They knew exactly the questions to ask and exactly what we were going through and what data they needed to be able to help us. And so it was just amazing to think that there were people out there who had faith that we could make it through this and that this wasn't such a traumatic story. So they were born actually 12 weeks early, and so they struggled for a long time with lung issues. They were on oxygen for 18 months, and we struggled even after that through several surgeries and ICU stays, collapsed lungs, and about 2 years ago we even moved from the Denver area to the DC area to try to get to lower altitude to try to help with that. And they're 5 now, and their lungs are bigger and stronger. We're back in Denver, and glad to say they're very healthy and been oxygen free and hospital free for about a year now, so that's great. We found that when we were going through all this, that it was amazing the support we received, not just from these doctors, but from everyone in our life. People were bringing meals, my coworkers were taking over my projects at work, my boss started a PTO donation program. I really felt like we got so much support from the community, and so many people were donating things. Every time our kids were in the hospital, we got toys donated. I remember one time my kids had been sick for a really long time, and we were in and out of the hospital, and someone handed me a packet of shampoo and toothpaste and toothbrushes that had all been donated, and I couldn't remember the last time I'd even taken a shower. And so we have been working, even the last 5 years, to try to be giving back and understanding of all of the other people that are still going and still struggling through these types of issues with their kids. So we try to collect toiletries, and we try to make meals, and now that we're sort of out of the water and I'm back and running and we're back living our life doing these sorts of things, I thought, well, this is a great opportunity to also give back to Fetal Health, who was there in the beginning and who was really there to help save us. I'd like to make people more aware of the Fetal Health Foundation. We participated in the run that they held every year. It's now the Great Candy Run, and it's a great event every fall, and we thought that this would be a great way for us to raise more awareness too, and to just get the word out about all these other fetal health syndromes. Through our journey, we've met a lot of people who have struggled with similar issues, both in the NICU and just in our interactions with other patients and families at the hospitals, and just making people more aware that this exists and that help is out there if they need it. So we're trying to raise funds. My goal is to raise $5,000 and also to finish a half Ironman. I'm turning 40 next year, so I hope to do a full, but start off small, I guess, huh? So I've run marathons before, and I've run half marathons. In fact, my first race ever was a marathon, and I have to say I was pretty miserable. I was pretty out of shape and didn't know what I was doing, but swore I'd never run again. But it's been a lot of fun, and I think it's always a challenge to do something that you think is impossible, and to be able to overcome it. And so to me, an Ironman seems pretty impossible, but for now I think a half Ironman will be a good challenge this year, and just try to focus. And when you're out there running and it's hot and you don't think you can finish, I think it's similar. Nobody can understand what you're going through in that moment except for you, and you're kind of by yourself and you need to push through. And I think it's very similar to the way I felt when I was going through that with the kids. Even my husband and I dealt with it differently, and we're experiencing it differently, and it's a very isolating feeling, and you just have to sort of push through. My husband and my kids are very supportive of what I do, which is really fun, and my kids are in swimming lessons right now and are just learning to swim. So they just actually this morning were able to swim all the way across the pool, and they're very excited about it, and they want to come out and swim laps with me, and want to be my coach for the half Ironman. So I think that's pretty cool that they're so excited and supportive.